But this is Duca on the move for Montreal. Dilly Duca, let's see what he does. A left foot shot, that's in! Dilly Duca beat his man, and the Rutgers product makes it 1-0 Montreal.
This is Off the Woodworkx with Kevin Laramie, the longest running podcast entirely dedicated to the Montreal Impact.
It's wide open now, Malice, plenty of room. As Pachuca have 5 players lined up across the back. An opportunity! It's Romero for Montreal! The rookie! Bedlam at the Big O!
Good day, good night, and welcome to a brand new edition of Off the Woodworkx. Today on this pre-game edition of the Concacaf Champions League second leg final at the Big O. Right now it's 1-1 on aggregate between the Montreal Impact and Club de Football America. Montreal's got the away goal advantage for now. And for this special momentous occasion, a jam-packed edition of Off the Woodworkx. Today on the show, Frank Klopas, Evan Bush, Kristian Nicht, Andres Romero, Baky Soumare, and Dominic Oduro. Talking about a jam-packed show. We have the press conference of those players and the coaches 24 hours before the biggest game of their careers, the biggest game of their lives, the biggest game in Montreal soccer history, and arguably the biggest game in Canadian soccer is history. And who knows, man, just put North American. Let's put, who knows, arguably. It can be. It will be. It's a big night tomorrow night. And to celebrate this, well, we're going to start by listening to Frank Klopas. His comments on the game, his comments on the past game, and everything surrounding this very big night in Montreal's history. So without further ado, we'll start with Frank Klopas, and we'll be right back after that.
Well, Frank. Hello, bonjour. Yes, any Greeks here? No. Too far of a travel for the Greek media. We'll baptize you Greek. There's still hope for you.
Frank, you guys got Kristian last night. Obviously, it was probably the smartest move for you since he knows the team. The club has been used to working with him over the course of a month. Is he the guy that you give the goal to? And why did you guys pick this one guy?
Well, I mean, you'll see tomorrow night, but I think with Concacaf, you have an opportunity to fill the 30-man roster. And we always left ourselves a couple spots. You know, we acquired Kenny Cooper. He was able to fit in one of those spots. And we were very close to filling the last one because when we were in, before the Azteca game in Mexico City, we felt we were thinking about putting 3 keepers, and the one we had brought a younger kid with us from the academy to put him on, because you never know with the situations there if someone got sick overnight. But we left that one spot knowing that we knew that Kronberg was not available. We knew the situation with Bush going in. And obviously, yeah, Kristian was someone that was with us in the beginning. We know him very well. He knows the team really well. I'm not going to lie to you that we didn't look at a lot of different options. But in the end, we acquired him, and he's someone that I think knows and fits really good within our group. But hopefully that's not the best move I've made so far, you know?
Frank, obviously it's a big occasion tomorrow night, and you guys have had the experience of going down to Estadio Azteca for the first leg. How does that experience help you as you prepare for the decisive game tomorrow night?
I think it's going to be a different game. You know, I think that for me, I mean, I think I said it before. I think we're playing a quality team, a very good team, and we have to even be better the second game around. That's for sure. But it's a difficult place to play. Not that you're playing a team with that has a lot of ability in their individual players, but for me, the day before, everyone talked about this altitude and what you felt, and I didn't feel it, but walking into Azteca, the way the stadium is built, there's hardly any circulation, and then I was just preparing for warm-up, and then yeah, I couldn't catch my. I know I'm not the fittest guy right now, and I've stopped playing for quite a few years. But I just said, you know what? I get what they mean, you know. But I think we prepared the guys the right way. We gave us every opportunity. The time we went down there, the oxygen bottles that we brought with us. I think we did all the little things, you know, whether it helped or not. I think just from a psychological standpoint, the players felt good. Scoring that early goal was a big boost for us. You know, we were under a lot of pressure the second half. It's normal, you know. I mean, it's not going to be an easy place to play. So all those experiences, I think, do help the team, knowing that we're a team that can score. We can, you know, keep things tight. We can defend well. We've proven it against a lot of good teams, but also we have a lot of players that have played in big games. You know, I think Piatti's experience in Libertadores, and then you go down the line with Siman, Baky, Coker. I mean, you have a lot of guys that have played in games like that. For me, the atmosphere in Costa Rica was way more intimidating because the fans were on top of it. I mean, Azteca is just a historic opportunity, a moment that everyone looked forward to playing. It's going to be different here. I think it's going to be a different game. There's different pressures always as a player. I think you're playing at home, in your home fans, and in front of your family, so you always want to do well. And moments like this don't come too often, you know. But regardless of that, I think you got to put all that aside, enjoy. You know, the moment, enjoy the way we've gone here, and you know, all I've told the players all along this is just really to focus on the preparation, because I think that's the most important thing that gives any player confidence on the field. When you prepare the right way and you train the right way, and there's a good game plan, and everyone plays for the team, because we do have individual players, but if we don't play as a team, we won't have a chance. And I think we've been doing that. And everyone understands the moment. Games like this, I think the less you say, the better it is. But I think for sure games like that are going to help a lot from a confidence standpoint.
Andy, Olivier, Pat?
Coach, I know you're just saying you say less, but especially after the performance of Evan Bush, what do you say to your team going into a final with likely a guy in net that has just joined the team 2 days prior?
Well, he joined the team a couple of days prior, but he was with us for months before in the beginning. The guy was with us in preseason. The guy was with us almost until they started their season with Indy. So he's an experienced guy. I mean, it's difficult to replace your starting keeper with anyone you put in there, for sure. But if you can say what's the best case scenario, you bring a guy that's very familiar to the group, that's an experienced player that's been in games like this, that's not going to be faced. Whoever you put in there, you can't put the pressure on one guy. You know, it's going to be very unfair, whoever we put in there, to say, here, you got to save the day for the team. It's been a team effort. It's all about the team, and we're in this together. No matter what happens, it's not about if Kristian is in there playing, if it's Smith's playing, if it's Krippel playing. You know, we can't put any pressure on them. It's been about the team, and if the team doesn't win, all the pressure is on me, and I accept that. And if they do, I give so much respect and credit to my players, because they've done a tremendous job. And as a coach, I take the responsibility when things don't go well, but I'm extremely proud of the group. And come tomorrow, I know 100% that these guys, you know, are looking forward to the match, to step out there as a team. The guys that are on the field, the guys that don't get on the field, the guys that have been injured, because there's been a lot of guys that have played a big part for us being here. Even guys that are no longer with us, because this process has started since last year. So all those guys, there are moments where I wish we could bring them all back, because they've all contributed to this, and that's why I always talk about the team. And for me, more than anything, it's going to be a great day for our fans, a great moment for our players. And I encourage our fans, again, you know, I remember when we played here, and we had 40,000, but I happened to be here when I was coaching Chicago in the first game, and when it was 61, and I know 60,000? 58, okay. We'll break the record tomorrow. So I know how difficult of a place it is when you have that many people to come. I just want them to really come as early as possible, so when the team comes out for warm-up, you know, we have an incredible fan base, and it's important for our players to feel that from the start of the warm-up. So I want them to come here early. I want our fans to experience our players to experience that atmosphere, and how behind our fans have been through the good moments and through the difficult ones. And And other than that, it's a game. The ball is round. I know both teams are going to give everything on the field. It should be an exciting final, and I hope the Impact win.
Frank, you use different strikers up top for different purposes. You even acquired a striker not too long ago. What are you leaning towards for this?
I'm going to sleep good tonight, and I'm going to say, please, God, tell me who's going to score the goals tomorrow, and then tomorrow, before the game, I want to put them in there. That's how I normally do it, guys. I put the names in the hat, and I go, who is it? Okay.
Frank,
Oh, sorry.
Frank, is it the same with the right back? Can you tell us what your options are in that regard with Cabrera and Soumare?
Yeah, well, I think Cabrera, I think they're both, we'll see a little bit today where they are. But I think we have some options where we can move different players around to play. And they're not putting them in positions where they haven't played before. I think that if Cabrera is out, if Kamara for some reason is not able to go, and I think we have other guys within the team that can play that role. And they're familiar playing in that role, and they have done so in the past. So we'll see. I'll have a better idea today, and then we'll wait till tomorrow. Some of these decisions you have to wait. It's not a fitness thing. A lot of the guys have been fit and playing. It's just to see how comfort level it is, how they feel out there when they're playing.
Is it Nigel you see moving, maybe?
We'll see. We'll see.
I'm from Japan.
My friend, I hope I come to see you in person there. Yes.
In general, Canada is famous of hockey, but this game is sold out over 58 tickets. What do you feel about the passion of Canadian soccer fans? And also, what's the reason of soccer is popular in Canada?
Well, the passion of the fans has been incredible, but it's been the passion of the city. Whether it's hockey fans, baseball fans, soccer fans, I think they're one fan. It's the Montreal Impact, and everyone is behind us. I think that's the important thing. There is a soccer culture here, and it's been there. Me, myself, I was born in Greece. I came to this country when I was 8, 9 years old. I remember the old league, the NASL days, when they had a team here, the Montreal Manic. And I used to watch them play in the Olympic Stadium, and they had 50, 60,000 people back then. I think that it's been a big difference now, just the same as in the US. Soccer in the grassroots has really taken over, because back then you had really high-level players from all over the world, but the grassroots was non-existent. And that's been the big difference now. Everything takes time. I know sometimes you want things to happen over a day, but that's not the case. The thing that I love a lot about the city, besides how beautiful it is just the passion of how passionate the fans are. It's a great hockey city. I love hockey. I'm not going to say what team I'm rooting for, even though I want the Habs to go all the way. But they're behind us 100%. Whether they're hockey, soccer, it's a city that's rich in a sports culture, and they're all behind us. They're all behind us. It's good to win, because I'll get a lot of free coffees over the next couple of weeks.
Frank, hi. You were saying that moments like this don't come too often, but can you expand a little bit on that, put the game in perspective, even a little more for players, for you, for the organization?
I speak because from experience. I've been a player for 17 years. I've been fortunate to have been in championship teams. But you can read articles from players from Salt Lake City, Nick Romero and other guys that had an opportunity, and they had such a good team. And then sometimes you feel, we'll be at this thing next year again. We'll have an opportunity next year. And sometimes a lot of things have to go your way. Like a lot of things have gone our way when you look at where we started and how we ended up here now. There were many moments where, Cameron Porter's last second goal, the penalty kick. And so there's a lot of things that have to go your way, and regardless of how good you are, sometimes you just never know if you'll ever get there. Towards the end of my career, I was in a very special team with the Fire 98, that if you look at the roster we had, even though we won the double that year, in my mind, I thought with the players that we had in Chicago over the 2, 3, 4 years in a row, there would be no team that you never get there. So, like a great coach in Chicago said, this guy Mike Ditka, the future is a mystery. the past is history, is what we do right now. And right now is a great moment in front of us, and we got to go all in. I know the players will. And then that's all you can ask for as a coach. We're prepared, the guys are ready, they know it's at stake. You know, I wish I could predict the future to tell you. The only thing I know is that my players will leave everything on the field to make the most important thing, our fans and our city proud tomorrow.
Frank, I do realize it's still very early in your team's overall season, but there seems to be a strange phenomenon. Your team seems to play up to the level of its competition, which is why I'm guessing it's had such success in this Champions League. But would you agree with that? Can you explain any of that?
I think it's been really hard to focus on the league and also on the Concacaf here with the games. We've been very fortunate from the help with the teams in the league to be able to change our schedule around a little bit. So that's been difficult. But normally, yes, when you play better quality teams, your level raises also. But we do have quality on our team, on our side. So the only thing I can say is it's been very difficult with the travel, with our focus on mentality, what goes into the game. You know, there are moments where you have so much energy, and then 2 days later, I'm completely wiped out. It's just drained because we all put so much into it. But I think when this is over, then we really have to focus because we have a lot of ground to make up. We played only 4 games. There's going to be a situation now where you're playing on a regular basis, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday. So that's why it's important to. Our goal was to build depth in our team, you know, because we are going to count on everyone. So yeah, it's been difficult on both ends to count on 2 things. So that's why I think when this is over, then the emotions go out, and then we really have to focus on the season.
John, Jeremy, and we have a couple of questions. Frank, there's been some, I guess, trash talk from the other side. Apparently, Munoz, the goalkeeper, has said unless they win 5-0 tomorrow, they'll see that as a disappointment. Do you take notice of that? Can you use that as extra motivation? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I think the players know that, but I don't think the situation is like that anymore in the world. You know, I remember when I played with the U.S. national team in '95, we beat Argentina 3-0. If you would have seen the roster of that team that they had, I don't think the Club America is close to that. So it's different times. We have a lot of respect for Club America. There's respect but no fear. So to tell you the truth, I heard it the other day. I don't read too much because you know, the people that bring you up, they bring you down. You listen too much to the hype, and a lot of times maybe as a coach, sometimes you think you're a lot better than you are, which is not true. So you got to always stay humble and just focus on the work at hand. And the game is on the field played, where it's going to be played right behind us tomorrow night. That's the only place where you play.
Frank, the fine line that you have to walk in this game, we know that a scoreless tie is good for you. Guys on your team that have talked about the importance of that first goal. The first goal can't bring you the win. The tying goal can't bring you more than overtime. How do you walk the fine line of wanting to score but knowing that it might open up the floodgates on the other side and a high-scoring draw is no good for you guys? How do you, tell me how you manage that and how you see that whole situation working out?
I mean, I don't think I go out and say, guys, you can say to this team, let's go score a goal in the first 5 minutes. I mean, I think that we have to keep things tight as a team. We're going to be opportunities when we can break on them. We have to be much better with the ball. Our decision making has to be good. We just got to stay compact. We'll get our chances. They'll get their chances. And then it's just about who finishes their chances. You know, hopefully they get a lot more, you know, fewer chances than we do, and we put them away. But we have to keep things tight. You know, we can't get very stretched as a team because they do have a lot of quality. They do have a lot of pace. They're very good in transition. So it's nothing new. I mean, we've seen this team at Scotland. We watched them a lot of games. We played against them. So they have to score.
Frank, I know you touched on the scheduling, but how much of a factor can that be, given that you guys are rested for about a week, whereas Club America played over the weekend against Chivas, has to fly up here, and then just get ready within a day?
I know the travel. I mean, when you look, I just speak from experience, just from the league. When they did a study in MLS, the 2 biggest factors are travel and weather conditions. When you change hot, cold, I think the big thing is also for us, I think we're a team now for 3 months. We've been on turf other than when we went, we gave ourselves an opportunity. So even from our standpoint, it's been very difficult. You know, we're not even at Saputo Stadium yet, we're still indoors. So for sure the travel plays a part into it. But I would not expect anything than a team that's going to step on the field and give 100% because it is a final, and you know, from that standpoint. So for sure you can look at that, but I think the guys are not going to underestimate them in any way.
Frank, do you see them changing their strategy from the first leg to the second leg? And it sounds like on your end, you're pretty much going to do the same thing or approach it the same way as the first leg. Is that fair
Well,
to say?
the only thing is, I think, you know, Peralta came in the second half and he changed the game for them. Didn't play in the Chivas match. You know, he was on the bench. I would assume, you know, that he will be in. I think the strike duo with him and Benedetto and Sabuesa is a key guy for them. So I think they're going to put the best players on the field that we have seen. I think that the second half of the game, we gave them a lot of opportunities. We have to be better in our marking and set pieces. We lost. We gave them a lot of set pieces, and we lost our marks. So we definitely have to tighten things up. We have to be better with the ball. And then again, the good thing is that the opportunities you get 2-3. We scored there. I think that's going to have to be the case here, and the goalie has to make some big saves.
What do you just follow up as far as Nicht, the goalkeeper? How much does he help you or give you, being with the size that he has, the service that they're going to put in? Does it help having him?
Yeah, that's good. And plus, if he's in the nets tomorrow, he brings. He's an experienced guy. He's not going to be faced by a moment in a game like this. And like I said, it's difficult and really not fair whoever you put in there really to put that amount of pride, because in the end of the day, as a team, we have to play well and not just him.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Very interesting, the goalkeeper situation right now for the Montreal Impact. Who's going to be in net? If you would have asked me before the Frank Klopas press conference, I would have said either Nick or Smith, but apparently maybe Maxime Crépeau, even though he's injured, he's been practicing for the last couple of around 5 days. He's been practicing, but still, I don't think he's 100%, but his name has been thrown in the hat. So one of the three goalkeepers is going to play on Wednesday night. And speaking about the goalkeeper, we'll listen to Evan Bush's comments on the fact that he's not going to play the game. What can he do to help the team prepare for Wednesday night? And questions like this. So we'll listen to Evan Bush, and right after Evan Bush, we have Kristian Nicht on the show as well. The brand new addition to the Montreal Impact roster, who was transferred last night around 7:20 something. So Evan Bush and Kristian Nicht.
Evan, Coach told us that you found out yesterday on the final decision. What if the last 24 hours been coming to terms with the fact that you won't be able to play?
I think it's. I didn't really have my hopes very high. Obviously, it's an appeal, so the odds are that you're not going to win the appeal, right? So in that regard, I didn't get my hopes up too high. I tried to prepare, obviously, the whole week as if I was playing, but at the end of the day, the final word, it does hurt a little bit more than just speculation. So it was a moment where I wasn't happy about it for sure, but the next minute I had to move on, and I can't feel sorry for myself for sure. I have to help these guys get ready for the game. Not only the goalkeepers, but all the other guys too, because it's not about my situation. It's about what this team and this club has done to get to this point. And there's a massive opportunity for every single guy in that locker room tomorrow. And hopefully they can take the excitement and the energy that I'm missing out on, and they can put it into the game themselves, because it's a great opportunity, and I would do anything to be there.
Evan, hindsight 2020, but if you could, do you stand by your actions on the 2 yellows you got, or would you change anything on either one of them?
I mean, obviously you have to learn from everything. I still don't feel like I was in the position to get yellow cards in either of those moments. The first one, was for time wasting in the first half of the game, which I still don't agree with. The second one was, again, I think it went down as time wasting towards the end of the game against America. I've gone over that one quite a few times in my head. The ball falls to me. Maybe next time I just let the ball sit there. But at the same time, their guy was celebrating in the corner. They had guys running to the corner with him. It's not like I was holding the ball while their team was at the other end of the field waiting to kick off. So, I stand by, saying that, I don't feel like I deserve to get those cards, but at the same time, there's certainly always things you can do differently. And you have to be aware of the situation that you're in, not only, with the yellow cards, but, how the game's being called and certain things like that. So, in that manner, yeah, there's certain things that I guess I would do differently next time, just knowing how the game was called.
Sure. Evan, I know this has nothing to do with tomorrow night, but this team now suddenly seems to have a logjam at your position. How do you feel about that moving forward? It seems like some of these feelings are going to be hurt down as you move forward. Do you still feel it's your job to lose?
Yeah, I think so. I've been a big part of this run for sure. I've been a big part of this club. I've been a big part of this team. I still feel like it's my team. Kristian coming in, it's certainly a good thing for us. We have 4 goalkeepers on the roster now, and like you said, there's going to be some movement at some point for sure, I'd imagine. But that's not something that we're worrying about right now. We're worrying about tomorrow night. Everyone's getting, behind Kristian, and we'll move forward from there.
Who would you start tomorrow?
That's way above my pay grade, but I think yesterday I was asked by a couple people, the same question, and I didn't really have an answer. I just said that the biggest part of it is not who's the best goalkeeper; it's who can handle the moment the best. Because it's 60,000 people. It's a Champions League final. There's more to it than just catching balls, kicking balls, and those sorts of things that you do in training. You have to be able to handle the pressures of the moment, and it's the biggest moment for whoever steps into that position. So, I think whoever does will be mentally ready, physically ready, and everyone will have their back.
Here. Hi, Ivan. Yesterday when Club Americas arrived to Montreal, the president said that he saw some details against America, like the referees from Costa Rica, like the impact can be added a goalkeeper 48 hours before the final. What do you think about these words?
I think it's Concacaf, and Club America is the biggest team in Concacaf, so I don't think that they ever really have anything going against them. So the president's going to say those things to try to sway the referee or the organization to be on his side for sure, and that's just all political parts of the game. So I don't really buy it.
You spoke about helping your team get prepared for the game. What can you specifically do to help the team for tomorrow night?
It's about bringing positive energy. Like I said, the first question, it's not a time for me to feel sorry for myself that I'm not in the game. It's not a time for other guys to feel that way either. I know, like I said, it's a moment for these guys to cherish and attack head on. So for me, I need to be positive with them. I need to help whatever goalkeeper is going to play. I need to get him in the right mindset for sure. And other than that, it's business as usual for the other 10 to 13 guys that will play tomorrow.
Evan, as a goalkeeper, you know that there are going to be 1 or 2 guys coming in to replace you who haven't had the reps that you've had behind the back 4. How do you approach that sort of situation as a goalkeeper to make sure that everybody's on the same page and make sure that you're effective in the goal?
Well, I think the one positive thing about having Kristian come in is that he's been with us, right? Mm-hmm. So he's been there, and to even add to that, the 4 guys that we've had playing on defense, they weren't here before January this year. So we went into Pachuca the first game of the year, and we tied 2-2. Obviously, we can't tie 2-2 tomorrow, but it was a result in our first game with 4 new guys back there. So you know, whether it's me or these 4 guys or another goalkeeper, it's going to be a seamless transition, and we're going to go forward.
Last question for Evan. Evan, America's president lobbying like that, that political kind of vibe you mentioned, and Munoz, you know, a little trash talking a couple of days ago. Do you feel like fear from their side coming from a big club like that?
Yeah, you love to. We've sparked a little fire under them, and like I said, it's the biggest club in Concacaf. It's one of the biggest clubs in the world. They play in one of the most prestigious stadiums in the world. There's a lot of things, a lot of history with that club, and for a team that's been in the first division now for 4 years for us to spark a fire like that under them. You got the president talking. You have a goalkeeper who's been with the national team. He's an older guy, a veteran guy, talking like that. You sense that they have some insecurities now. They might be a little fearful of us, and that's a good thing because we're ready to go and get a result tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
No, just yesterday you were still planning a trip to Tennessee, and now you're 24 hours away from maybe starting in the Concacaf Champions League final. Is it surreal, and how do you process this?
I was actually planning a trip to Nashville on the weekend, that's right. But I cancelled that very happily to come over here and be part of that game tomorrow. So everything what happened with me in Montreal in the last 4 months was always kind of crazy and always kind of a short term, so on a short notice. So I'm kind of getting used to it, getting a call from Montreal and said, Kristian, get ready in 4 hours. So I actually can pack my luggage pretty quick by now. So business as usual, and as it was in the last 4 months, so nothing too crazy.
Next question. Yeah.
Kristian, what's it like to come into this situation? I mean, you were with Indy 11 a couple of days ago, and now you're in a chance to play perhaps the biggest game in this club's history. I mean, how do you process that, and how do you react if you do get the nod tomorrow night?
I don't really think you can process that and like actually realize what would happen. I mean, I'm long enough in the business to try to stay as professional and as possible, and just whatever happens tomorrow, and I'm ready.
What can you tell us about the experience you bring in? Obviously, you played in Europe, but what are the reasons that you think they thought that you would be a good pick for the situation?
Well, I can't answer the last question. I can only give you a little bit background about me. I mean, like I said, I'm a professional since 16 years. Played in Germany in the first Bundesliga, so I'm used to that kind of crowds. So that's nothing new for me. Obviously, I never been in a Champions League final, but that's happens to all of us. So that's I'm not alone with that non-experience. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's for all of us. Probably a once-in-a-lifetime chance, and so it will be a great thing to be part of.
Kristian, here. Hi. 60,000 people tomorrow. They're going to cheer for the Impact, and they don't know their goalie. I mean, basically, they've immense majority of them haven't heard of you before. So, what can you say to the public? Can you talk a little bit about yourself and what you can bring to the team and why you think you can do the job? Because I guess you think so.
Well, I'm very confident I can do the job whenever it comes to. I don't know what happens tomorrow. I don't know who will be starting. YouTube. There's a couple of videos on YouTube, so they have still 24 hours to check a couple of videos. But I mean, I've been in that business, like I said before, long enough. I've seen a lot. I haven't seen everything yet, but I've seen a lot and been all over the world, especially Europe and North America now. So bring a little bit of life experience, a little bit of soccer experience into the equation.
Last 2 questions for Kristian. Here in the back. Kristian, did you have the chance to watch the first leg live, and what did you think of it if you did? And if not, once you got the call, have you been studying up on Club America? Have you had a chance to kind of watch video? What do you know about the opponent?
I saw the first game. I was the only guy in a neighborhood grill pub in Indianapolis because I didn't get a Fox Sport at home. It was quite annoying for the pub owner because he wanted to close, and I was the only guy sitting there and said, "No, we wait till the game's over." I saw that, like I said, I saw that game. I saw a couple of videos yesterday evening. Had a longer meeting with our goalkeeper coach right now, so I get as much, and we still have time in the hotel tonight, so we still get all of us goalkeepers get as much input as possible.
In the back, last question.
Hello. Could you describe us with what was the first thought that passed through your mind when you received the call and they tell you you're coming here and you're playing final because of the situation?
I mean, it was crazy. I mean, I literally drove back from training when my head coach actually called me, said, Kristian, in the same situation again, pack your stuff, the airplane is leaving soon. It was great. I mean, it was super happy moment for me, and like I said, I'm super happy and super glad to be here.
And the second one, you know that the goalkeeper position is the toughest, maybe in the field, because you can be the hero or the opposite.
I know.
How do you visualize yourself tomorrow night at 10 p.m.?
What was that again? Sorry.
How do you visualize yourself? How do you look at yourself and your team for tomorrow night after the game?
I mean, for me, it's difficult to say it's a normal game because it's obviously not. Whenever it comes to the point that I will be starting, I just try to play my game as good as possible.
So that pretty much sums it up for the goalkeeper situation, not controversy, but a goalkeeper situation and weird situation that is happening and has happened for the Montreal back over the last couple of months. So we heard from the protagonists themselves. Now moving on to a little higher up on the field, here's Andres Romero talking about maybe if there's a rivalry of Mexico and Argentina. It's a Spanish interview with translation right after. So Andres Romero, and right after him we have Baky Soumare and Dominic Oduro. And we'll be right back after those three players.
After.
Hola Andrés, oye, tú como argentino, ¿cómo ves el encuentro contra el América? ¿Es para ti una revancha de la Argentina sobre México? ¿Cómo lo ves desde aquí, desde tu punto de vista de Montreal?
No, lo veo desde el punto de vista de Montreal, no de revancha con Argentina. Creo que hicimos una buena copa y sería algo grande coronarla con una victoria.
¿Qué representa América para Argentina?
The question was, you as an Argentinian and the rivalry that exists with Mexico, is this an opportunity to beat Mexico? And the answer is no. I see it as Canada, the impact playing against America, and this is a great opportunity to play against them.
Andrés, buenas tardes, señores del Grupo Milenio. América ha asegurado que viene por la Copa, que ellos vienen convencidos, pese a que los últimos resultados que han tenido en la Liga tampoco han sido buenos. ¿Qué tipo de América esperan ustedes? Porque ellos sí están más acostumbrados a jugar en un estadio como este, con 60,000 personas, ellos juegan en el Azteca a veces llenos con 90,000. O sea, ¿qué tipo de América esperan mañana ustedes?
No, esperamos el mismo América con el que jugamos en el Azteca. Por ahí, como decís vos, están acostumbrados a jugar con mucha gente, pero nosotros jugamos con la misma gente en el Azteca y la verdad que no nos pesó bastante la presión. Saldremos a hacer nuestro juego y creo que será bastante diferente al juego que tuvimos en el Azteca.
The question was, America has assured that they're coming here to win the cup and that they're used to playing in front of big crowds. Will this affect Montreal? And he says no, that they proved that they could play in front of big crowds like they did in Azteca, so this will not be a pressure for them.
Andrés, Gustavo Mendoza, Fox Sports. Sin duda, ustedes ya han mostrado, no solamente contra América, también contra Pachuca, que el nivel de la MLS y la Liga Mexicana está muy parejo. E incluso podríamos decir que está en disputa a ver cuál liga es más fuerte, si la mexicana o la MLS. ¿Tú cómo lo ves? ¿Cómo lo sientes?
Sí, obviamente. Está a la vista que estamos parejos. Creo que en años anteriores las finales solo eran entre equipos mexicanos de la Concacaf. Este año demostramos que no, que estamos a la altura. Creo que son dos ligas diferentes, pero que al ser diferentes, ambas tienen cosas que son pareja, ¿no?
¿Son víctimas de ustedes? ¿Ellos son los favoritos?
The question was, there's been a lot of talk in recent years, which league is more prestigious, the Liga MX or the MLS. He mentions that each league has its own things. They have proved that there are both good leagues. In recent years, Mexican teams have had more success in Champions League, but that doesn't mean that the Liga MX is better than the MLS.
¿Ustedes son las víctimas, ellos los favoritos o no necesariamente?
Creo que sí, pero desde un principio ellos fueron favoritos de la Copa. Si al principio de la Copa me preguntaban si jugamos en la final, no sé si te diría que sí. Con el trabajo humilde que hicimos durante todos los partidos, creo que merecemos jugar la final.
He asked if he sees America as a favorite team and Montreal as a victim in this situation. And he says, yes, since the beginning, if they would have asked him that they were going to play a final, he wouldn't know if answer yes or no. And also that America, since the beginning of the tournament, was one of the favorites to be in the final.
Andrés, ¿qué tal? Muy buenas tardes. César Caballero para Fox Deportes en español. ¿Cómo tomó el grupo la postura de América al terminar el primer partido donde calificaba a Montreal de timorato y que no tendría la misma suerte para el partido de vuelta que tuvo en el Azteca?
No entiendo la pregunta.
Cuando termina el primer partido, la gente de América dice que el Montreal era un equipo con miedo y que no va a tener tanta suerte aquí en Canadá. ¿Cómo toma el grupo esa situación?
Lo toma, no sé, de la mejor manera. Creo que, no sé si tuvimos suerte. ¿Por qué suerte?
Así lo mencionan ellos, por los goles que no entraron.
Pero bueno, nosotros también tuvimos posibilidades. Ellos tuvieron suerte de que no le echaran a un jugador. Creo que el fútbol, la suerte, no sé si en una final compensa bastante para los dos. Si es una final, hay que jugarla, nosotros la jugamos de nuestra manera, nos salió bien. Ahora hay que jugar acá y veremos quién es que tiene suerte, supuestamente.
The question was that, well, it was a comment that America players at the end of the match mentioned that Montreal played a little bit with fear the match and that they were very lucky. Would he agree with that? And he says that he doesn't agree. They also had chances to score in the first half. America was also lucky that they didn't get a red card. So he doesn't agree with the comment.
Andrés, quedó claro que no son menos que ellos entonces.
No, quedó probado en el partido en el Azteca.
Andrés, con respecto a la pregunta del colega acá, la declaración del presidente de América que trató de empezar con la Concacaf hace varios días, la declaración del arquero anteayer creo, ¿sentí que vienen con miedo acá?
Puede ser. Creo que a ellos le está creciendo la presión. Creo que no hicieron un buen partido. Nosotros tuvimos el control del partido. A pesar de que ellos atajaron durante todo el partido, nosotros fuimos a hacer el partido que quisimos y logramos lo que fuimos a buscar. Obviamente ahora será diferente, nosotros jugamos en nuestra casa y saldremos nosotros a atacar.
Adding to the comments by the other reporter, he adds that the American president said something, and then the goalkeeper also said he thinks America is feeling the pressure because of this final, and yeah, he feels America is pressure for this game. He believes Montreal controlled the game at Azteca, they had their opportunities to score, and that America is probably feeling the pressure for this match.
Andrés Romero, ya te has notado que la América pesa en muchos estadios y que es una gran final la que se presenta para ustedes. ¿Tú cómo te sientes? ¿Ya ves una América fácil para ustedes o lo ves difícil?
No, obviamente no lo veo fácil. Creo que tampoco nos ven fácil a nosotros. Como dije antes, es una final y las finales se ganan, obviamente. No hay mucho que hablar.
El partido está...
Permítame un segundo, por favor. The question was, you've seen the way America has playing games. How do you feel? Are you prepared? And yes, he feels that they're ready, and then America is worried about how they play, and they're ready to play the match.
entonces el mensaje que ustedes mandan es definitivo, los vamos a atacar, o sea, que América venga a jugarles abierto, porque Matosas el fin de semana dijo que él no sabe especular, que él juega partidos abiertos. Ustedes, eso es lo que quieren, que América no venga a especular y ustedes tampoco lo harán.
La verdad que no sé lo que ellos van a salir a jugar. Nosotros tenemos bien claro el juego nuestro y lo que queremos hacer, obviamente. Vamos a tratar de ser un equipo ordenado en defensa y tratar de aprovechar la oportunidad que tengamos en contraataque.
The question was, Matosas, the coach for America, has said that his team will not speculate and will come to play forward. And will that be the same case for Montreal? And he says, yeah, they prepare for this match, and they will play their style.
Gracias, Alex. The next one, the question is Baky. You got the question in French, but just to repeat it in English, you're going to be playing in front of a new goalkeeper tomorrow night. How do you feel about that? How are you guys preparing for that tomorrow night?
Yeah, I just say we're not worried. We're playing the same way. We have an experienced goalkeeper. And granted, it's not the same guys, the guys we've been playing with, but we're whoever's between the pipes tomorrow is going to get the job done. We're not worried about that. We're more worried about getting out there tomorrow and getting a result.
Two-parter. As far as the goalkeeper goes, Kristian Nicht trained with you guys. You're familiar with him. What does he bring to the table? What have you seen from him? And secondly, what has Frank Klopas meant to this run? And obviously you've worked with him for a long time, so you're probably more biased than most. But what has he done to kind of help make this run happen?
Yeah, first, in terms of Kristian, I mean, it seems like a lot of guys are not aware of, but it's a guy that's been with us when we were with Pachuca. He spent a lot of time with us. For us to have him come in, it's normal. Not only is a guy that's come in and did really well for us, but it's a guy that's really been part of this team. He's tried, he's not just a goalkeeper that we bring in for games. When he came with us in Pachuca, he was actually, you can feel it. He's a guy that's there and he wants to be part of the team. He wants to be part of the adventure. And listen, this was, if there is one guy out here, and I think there's been a lot of things that have been said over the past couple of days about bringing a guy in from somewhere else, but having Kristian here, for us, I think it's great because it's a guy that's been part of this whole adventure for a while versus a guy that's just coming in and playing and just going back. So I think, for me on the personal level, I think it's a great scenario. And in terms of Frank, listen, everyone knows I'm going to be biased because I love Frank. For me, he's more than a coach. He's been a mentor. He's a guy I've known since I was a kid, and I personally, I love the guy. But then again, for me, as much as I want to see this team do really well because of the club, but this organization, what it means to the city. For me, on a personal level, it's something that Frank deserves, more than anyone I know. And because for me, as a player in my career, he's been fantastic. He's been a role model. He's been a mentor, and he's a guy who doesn't always, as you know, he doesn't always get the credit that he deserves. And for this to happen to a guy like him, I just can't think of anyone in this locker room, in anyone I've been around that deserves this more than he does. And granted, we're going to go out there and play for this club, play for the city, play for the league. We're going out there to play for our coach because he's been fantastic and he's done a great job, and he's a guy who doesn't always get the credit he deserves. And the best part about it, he doesn't care because he lets the trophies and his resume just speak for itself.
If Impact win this game, you will go to Japan in December for Club World Cup. How do you feel?
We're great, man. We are. First of all, we starting this year. No one gave us a chance against Pachuca. Then we go up rounds after rounds after rounds. Next thing you know, you're in Japan playing against who knows, Barcelona, Bayern Munich. Listen, in terms of soccer, as a player that grew up in America, grew up dreaming about becoming a soccer player, it doesn't get any bigger than that. It's for us as players, for us as a club, for us as a city, and for us as part of Major League Soccer, and on a personal level, it's as big as an accomplishment that'll ever come about.
New haircut, the new cutter.
What's the idea about the haircut?
Who did it?
Well, if you know me now, I always try to entertain first of all. So this is basically for entertainment, and this is if I don't know the history about Montreal that much, but I know this is the flag or the icon for Montreal, and I want to represent Montreal in this final stage right now. So just wanted to do something epic for the city, for the team. So yeah, it is just something really cool and nice for the people of Montreal, so that tomorrow they can enjoy this whole game.
Sometimes I follow you on the field. Normally you play very individual, but this time it's the final versus America. America has a good defense. So you try to probably play more complement with your attack.
Well, we got to treat this as another game. As much as we all know this is the final, we can't just lose our focus. So I can't just play an individual game out there. Obviously, yeah, we want to attack. We want to win this game. This is our home. We want to win it for the fans, for the city, for MLS, and for us. So we're just going to go out there and play the game. We're just going to leave everything on the field. Just try and play as much as we can, and fight hard at the end of the day, and then hopefully win this game. So nothing's going to change. I'm just going to be a team player and play with my team and try to execute what we've been practicing this whole week.
Doug?
Hey, Dom, you were quite vocal on social media after the Alajuelense game with some of the abuse you received. Concacaf sanctioned the club today. Just curious what your thoughts are on that.
Well, I think they did the right thing. Again, it wasn't I was just making this out of the blue. It's something that really happened, and I witnessed it. A couple of my teammates also witnessed it. So for Concacaf to come out and put a sanction on them, I think that's the right thing to do. I think we are in this together. We're trying as much as possible to eradicate racism in the sports that we love. So for them to do that, I kudos to them for bringing the hammer down, and I hope every other team around Concacaf or around the world will learn from this. Again, it's something that I went through, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. It takes away the fun of the game. And, I think we are in this to enjoy this game, this beautiful game. And, for some of the fans to do that, I think it was just uncalled for. But again, I just learned about the fan on Twitter. I don't know much about the details, but I know they did sanction them, and I think it was the right thing to do.
Andrew?
Dom, why don't you think America seems to respect you guys? All the talk from them after that first game was that you shouldn't have been in the game, that you don't deserve to be CCL champions playing that way. Why don't they respect you?
I don't think they're doing so well right now, so I don't know where that disrespect is coming from. But this is a game of soccer. It's a game of chance. You take your chance, you win it, you move forward. That's how it is. I mean, they can say whatever they want. They had their chances, they didn't score. It's part of the game. You get chances, you don't score. Otherwise, it will be 10-game every game or 10-0 every game. But again, I keep saying it's a game of chance. As to whether they respect us or not, we're in the final. So you got to be aware there's a reason why we're here. We just didn't come here out of merit. We came here because we played well and we fought hard to be here. So if they really want to underrate us, that is fine with me. Then it's going to be a nice Cinderella story at the end of the day. But as much as it is, we also respect them too. I mean, they are a very good club. Their history is, it's just amazing. But we can't put it on the table right now. We just have to think about the fact that it's just a game, and it's the final year. But at the end of the day, we have to want it, and that's what we're going to do right now. We want this game, and we want to take it, and we try as much as possible to win it again for the league, for the club, for the city of Montreal, and for us, and for you guys too.
Dom, did you guys come out of that first leg with more confidence, particularly in the attack, considering the way you were able to open them up on the counter a couple times? Did you come out of that game feeling like we can put some goals on these guys in the second leg, and you think we'll see maybe even more attack from you guys in the second leg?
I mean, we knew pretty much they were going to control, possession. I mean, their players are very technical with the history that they have. And from our video and from our research, we knew we were going to hit them on the counter. So that was our main focus, try to hit them on the counter. And that's exactly what we did. We had our chances, which I thought, something should have come out of it, either a goal, a red card, whatever it is. I mean, I respect the ref decision, even though I don't agree with it. But I think this is our home right now. I don't think we're going to lay back and try to hit them on the counter. We're just going to bring it to them at the end of the day. So bottom line, we're going to bring it to them.
Last two questions, Kenzo and Joy.
Dom, just to follow up on the respect question, do you feel like they trash talk a lot because they come here with a little fear and a lot to lose?
trash talk makes the game fun, right? Yeah, it does a little bit. It's nothing wrong with going back and forth with a team like that, but as much as I want to say pressure is on both of us, I think right now the game is in our court. As much as I want to put it, we were able to fight out there, get a tie, and now we just have to show the people over here, what we're worth. And at the end of the day, I think that's what we're trying to do. So trash talk, I think we've done the trash talking right now. We just have to implement it on the field. You can talk as much as you can. If you can back it up on the field, you're nobody. And I don't think there'd be a lot of trash talking. I think there's been a little bit of hitting of the nerves here and there, but we're just ready to fight, and it's all about giving it all tomorrow. The trash talking will be done on the field.
Dom, has it been difficult to enjoy this final when you're in it like this?
Yeah, it's fun and it's nerve-wracking at the same time. It's not easy. You have the whole fans, the whole city looking up to you to bring them a championship. So as much as I want to say it's been fun, at the end of the day too, when we go back to our hotels and sit down, it's going to be a whole lot of cloud right here. But I promise you by tomorrow it'll be all sunny and clear and we'll be ready. Good. Thank you guys very much.
All right, that wraps it up for the interviews of the press conference today, 24 hours before the big game for the Montreal Impact Concacaf Champions League final second leg. A trophy will be raised tomorrow night at the Big O. And who's it going to be? Is it going to be Montreal Impact or is it going to be Club America? One question, a lot of question remains, but that's the one question that we all are wondering. Who's going to raise that trophy? That magnificent trophy, I have to say. I've seen it a couple of times up close now, and it is more stunning in real life than it is on pictures. It has depth to it. It's actually a pretty nice, I was going to say silverware, but it's gold. So it's pretty nice trophy. So, just before we wrap this pre-game edition of Off the Woodworkx, a couple of thoughts on the practice and what I saw. I saw Kristian Nicht walk. He did not have a brace. He just had maybe a little bit tape, but not even. But I didn't really see him run or do anything else but walked around the field. So that's for the Kristian Nicht update. Laurent Ciman was practicing. Everything looked fine for Laurent Ciman. I was not able to discern for Cabrera, so the question remains for that too. Jeremy Filosa mentioned on Twitter, and he mentioned live too at the press conference, that is it the possibility that we see Nigel Coker play in that position of right back? Who knows? And maybe Malice and Donadell in the midfield, and Rio Coker on the right back position. So that was one of the ideas and comment that Jeremy Filosa from 98.5 FM said today. Other thoughts that I've seen watching the practice for maybe 3/4 of it today. Kristian Nicht did a couple of great saves in practice, and the way he handles himself, his demeanor really tells a lot. I think if he's the one who starts tomorrow night, well, I think the Montreal Impact are in good hand. Who knows? I think he has the backbone necessary to absorb all that moment, that pressure, that instant, to be able to dwell in it and not be frozen by it and not get just get immobilized by the fear or just get struck by that fear. No, I think he has the backbones and the cojones necessary to maybe propel the Montreal Impact to their biggest victory in the club history. The USL Goalkeeper of the Year in 2012 is a great asset. I think the fact that we cannot oversay the fact that he practiced and had a stint with the club for a couple months ago when the team was facing Pachuca. He was able to get acquaintances in the club, make friends, and in the words of Baky Soumare today, Kristian Nicht really integrated himself into the team in his first stint with the Montreal Impact. So it's interesting to see it all come together now, and the Montreal Impact, for them, it's just another hurdle, just something else that they have to overcome in this run of overcoming adversity. And there's no bigger adversity than beating Club America, like Frank Klopas said the biggest team in Concacaf trying to beat them in a home and away series, it would just be a historic moment. Just doesn't cut it anymore. We used the word historic for the last 3 months and it's just losing its meaning. It would be meaningful, doesn't even cut it as well. It would be grandiose. It would be major. It would be something out of this world if the Impact can raise that trophy tomorrow night. Big O, 8 p.m. Sportsnet, TVA Sports 2. Really watch that game if you don't have a ticket yet. It was 59,200. It's now 61,000 people that will be at the Big O tomorrow night to witness this greatest game in the history of the Montreal Impact franchise club in its entire 22 years history now. Coming up on 22 years. It's the biggest game of their lives. So be there, watch it, talk about it. Let me know what you think at Off the Woodworkx. What is your prediction? I've talked to Vincent Detouche. You can listen to it in the French version of this show that will come out in a couple of hours. He was saying that Vincent Detouche is the commentator for TVA Speaks the Color for TVA Sport of the Impact game. Well, Vincent was saying that he believes the Impact will brave it out. And it might go to extra time. And maybe Patrice Bernier is going to score in extra time. So who knows? That would be just the cherry on top of that Sunday. And we'll see that on Wednesday night. Be there. And until tomorrow night for a special post-game edition of the Two Solitudes and Off the Woodworkx, Dwayne is in town. He will be with me on the press box and we will dissect the game after the game. So look for a show. More details to come tomorrow. And until then, have a great Champions League final.